Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into this week's episode of the SpookNotes podcast, where we get academic about everything that goes bump in the night. My name is Marlayna.
I'm Connor.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the new Halloween movie.
Just released, yeah.
Just released.
This is going to be another first impressions episode where we're recording this at 10:27. The movie finished
like half an hour ago.
Literally, I think about exactly half an hour ago.
Yep. So this is the raw deal,
guys.
This
is the most raw we can be.
Yep. In our truest forms.
Yep. As always.
Spoilers.
So if you haven't seen the movie yet, do so.
And then listen to the podcast.
And then
comment what your feelings are and how, what your first reactions are.
And also, as always with these episodes, me and Marlayna have not spoken with each other about the movie yet. We drove home in mostly silence.
Yeah.
We
were, however, we both were really, you could tell, we really just wanted to make this podcast to, tell the other person. Yeah. So what you're hearing for first reactions is what we're hearing from each other for first reactions. This is correct.
So, as always, we always start off, for the people who haven't seen the movie yet and don't want to be spoiled, we give a simple yes or no recommendation, and that's it. So Marlayna, very quickly, before we get into any more detail, would you recommend Halloween to people?
Absolutely.
Me too. Okay, so there you have it. You have our recommendations. We really recommend you see this movie without getting spoiled. So go see it. This is your opportunity right now, and that's it. Okay. So hopefully all the people who haven't seen it now are gone, and it's just the people who want to be spoiled. Okay, Marlayna, what did you think of Halloween 2018?
I fucking loved it. It was amazing. Like, holy shit.
Yeah?
Yeah. My expectations for this movie were pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
And they were met. Absolutely. 100%.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that this was the most anticipated horror movie of the year.
Yeah. And it was very well executed.
Did it meet your anticipations, you say?
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, it was awesome.
Exceeded your expectations?
Yes.
Nice.
I really, really liked it. What about you?
Probably the same. I loved it as well. We I don't even know what to say, really. It's hard because
I know,
you're just like, so anticipated, and so you have built up all this hype, and usually I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. Like, usually when something is this hyped, it's not gonna meet your expectations. But I mean, I think this really blew it out of the water. I loved it.
Like the movie The Nun.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck that movie.
What this kind of reminds me of last year when It came out, because everybody, that was the movie that everybody was excited for. That was the movie that, here's the thing about horror movies, not everybody goes to the theaters to see them. The general public doesn't really care too much, but I feel like there's always one movie a year. Last year was It, and everybody saw it. And then It, I think we both loved It as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this year is Halloween, and I think
I think they know, like, you can either make or break it, and that line is so fine. But I definitely feel like for the movie It, they blew it right out of the water, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome as well, yeah.
Yeah, and they did the exact same thing with Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Like we said, it really does live up to the hype and the potential, too. Like, because this movie, I think, really, in the lead up to it, it was saying, like, this is going to be, like, the greatest Halloween yet, because it's ignoring all the other ones. It's just the first one, the original, the classic, and now this one.
Mm-hmm. It's just, like, a continuation on, but 40 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so.
All right, I think
let's get into more details.
I know, we just want to go at it, So, you start it off.
You want me to start it off?
Yes.
Okay, well, I think my favorite thing about the entire movie was not just Jamie Lee Curtis, but the relationship between Laurie and Michael.
Oh my god, I know.
That was my favorite thing about the whole movie. That relationship, because when you think Halloween, I think those are the two most important things about the franchise. Michael and Laurie.
Yep.
And in this movie, a big part of the themes of this movie revolve around their relationship. The relationship as like predator and prey.
Mm-hmm.
And who really of the two is the predator and who is the prey.
That's true, because that's like, when I think of that, they are both predators, but they're both prey at the same time, and it's just like, you know what, the relationship, like you said, the relationship between Laurie and Michael, they're basically the same. Like, they both want to just kill each other, you know?
You really get the sense when that final like climax in the house kicks off that this is going to end with one of them dying.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't know which one it would be. I feel like one of them was going to die.
It could have been either or.
But that was my favorite part, is the kind of, we'll talk about them each individually, but I think the best part of the entire movie for me was just watching them interact. And I think as well, when that whole climax at the house kicks off, when Laurie first sees Michael and Michael first sees Laurie, you're like, you know it's on, and you feel something like there's like some connection, even though this movie ignores the whole thing about their brother and sister and all that, ignores that. You feel like there is some deeper connection between the two, just based on their past experiences with each other and how they understand each other on like a deeper level. Like Laurie, more than the reporters at the beginning, more than his doctor who's kind of messed up, more than the sheriff, more than anybody else, she understands Michael and understands that he's...
Because in a way, she is like Michael, so she knows how he thinks.
And they've both been changed so dramatically by that one night 40 years ago.
Yeah. So. I definitely think, like, Laurie, oh my god, she's such a fucking badass in this movie. I was like, oh yes, like, on every level. And it's, you know, he's really shaped her to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially that one scene where she's in her backyard just fucking gunslinging it. I'm like, oh my god, yes. Like, I almost wanted to clap. That's how excited I was for that particular, you know.
Like, I feel like when this movie started, they're building up to, like, kind of the reveal of seeing Michael for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, conversely mirroring it, immediately after, the very first scene after that is building up to the reveal of seeing Laurie for the first time.
I know, honestly. Like, I remember watching the trailer, and when you see Laurie Strode, like, that one scene where she's shooting the shotgun, I think I screamed, actually, because I was like, yes, girl, get it, you know?
Those were definitely the two parts of the movie that I feel they needed to nail for it to be successful, is Laurie and Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, what was your favorite part of the whole movie? Like, the best just aspect of it in general?
I really liked how they were reflecting similar scenes that were in the first, like, the original movie. Like, for instance, when Allison's at school, right, and she looks outside, and, like, in the first movie, you see Laurie Strode, like, peering outside, and she sees Michael, well, doesn't really see him, but, like, he's in the police car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's outside of it, like, watching her, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that was, like, the exact same thing, but you see Laurie Strode.
Exactly, so it's a reverse. They do that a few times.
I know.
I mean, when Laurie falls off the balcony, and then Michael looks down at her, and then, you know, Allison comes in the house, and Michael looks away, and then he looks back, and then she's gone.
Well, also, there was another scene where I think Laurie Strode was going up the stairs into the attic, and I just think that one scene where Michael's coming down and, like, Laurie's running away, I was like, oh my god, there is so much, like...
reversal.
Yeah.
Or even there's the reverse of the closet scene from the original, because Laurie's hiding in the closet and Michael's looking for her and he thinks she's in there and he comes in, whereas in this one, Laurie's looking for Michael and she thinks Michael's hiding in the closet.
I know, so there you have it. Like, you got the prey or the predator versus the prey, and then, like, the reverse. Oh my god, this movie is just fucking... I can't. It's just too good.
And the thing I think, you know, going back to my thing about the relationship, is that I think that the second movie kind of makes it a little bit more difficult with that saying that they're brother and sister, because then it is like, okay, so it's a very clear cut reason. There's no real like if, ands, or buts about it. But making, like I said, making them not brother and sister, but there's still some connection. Just you just don't know what it really is, but you know they're destined to collide.
Yeah.
It's almost like this, like it's almost supernatural. It's almost like fate. You know, there's a conversation of fate in the first movie, and it's just there's some cosmic force that's pushing these two together, and you know they're gonna collide.
Yeah, and they're also like they're just building on 40 years worth of anger, or they want revenge. They want to kill the other person. And it's just like,
and you do get that sense that I feel like, you know, even though there's lots of this movie where Michael is kind of just like killing randomly or seemingly randomly, I think you get the fact that his ultimate goal is to try to kill Laurie, and at the same time, like she says specifically, Laurie says she wished every night that she could kill him. So they both want to kill each other really badly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like I said, it's just that relationship to me is the greatest part of this whole movie.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Hands down.
Oh, what are some other things that you liked about the movie?
I think the kills were really cool.
Yeah.
And, like, more gory than I was expecting. Especially, you know, the one where the doctor gets his, like, head smashed in. Like,
the crazy doctor.
Yeah, like, he just gets curb stomped, basically. And I loved it. I was like, yes. And, like, definitely what is it called? Like, the Foleying in the movie, like, you know, when they're matching the sound up to the kill, I was like, that is so just gruesome and curdling, and I loved it. It was very well executed.
There were I think this really does make, I think, is going to be a classic slasher film, just because, for the simple fact that beyond everything else, there is just some great like I think that they will be iconic kills. Like, I also think the guy at the fence was pretty good.
Yep.
When he's like kind of all stuck up in there, and even just when the dad walks out and he sees the guy's head turned into the jack-o'-lantern.
Oh my god, yes, that was so cool.
It reminded me of Terrifier.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking of too.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there's a lot of, I think, really good kills in this. A lot of gore. The other thing about that I think ties in with that is this movie actually, I think, does a good job of legitimately, and for us who watches so many horror films, I thought legitimately that Michael was scary in this movie. Like,
he was.
When he was on screen, or when you knew he was like there, I thought it was legit, like, scary. Like, the way I kind of like look at it is, to me, there's two kinds when I watch a horror film, two kinds of movies. There's something like Friday the 13th where I'm like, yeah, Jason, like, fucking get him, like, this is awesome, cheering and stuff. In this movie, when Michael killed people, I feel like you weren't cheering, but it was still like, you were just dread.
Well, you were scared for them.
Yeah, because Michael is scary in this movie.
Well, yeah, and some of his kills were off scene.
Off camera, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. And that really kind of put me, on edge. Like, especially the one kill where he goes into the lady's house. Also, that was like was it the first movie? No, it was
the second movie.
Was it?
Which?
Okay, you know the one I'm talking about where she's making her husband a sandwich.
That's the second.
The second, yes, exactly. There's another scene where it's parallelism.
Yeah.
But where he goes into this lady's house with a hammer, or he picks up a hammer, and you can just hear that like smack. It's just.
And not only that, but I think after that, when he grabs the knife, and then you can hear the baby, and he goes in the direction of.
Fuck yeah! I was like, no.
Plus, this movie did a really good job of making Michael scary right off the bat. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure his first on-screen kill is that kid when he kills the boy.
Well, what about the dad? You can kind of.
But I mean, he didn't kill. You find the body, but you didn't see him kill him.
Yeah.
The first person you actually see him kill is the boy.
Yeah, and that's. I didn't think he was gonna kill him at first.
No, neither did I.
I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay.
But I guess that's like I said, the movie did a good job of like making you afraid of Michael like right off the bat because he's like, this guy's not messing around.
He doesn't have any mercy,
No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you know what? One scene I really, really enjoyed when you first see Michael. And you see him outside in the court with all the other prisoners, and like essentially he's on like a chessboard, right? And it made me think like he's going up against another opponent, which was like Laurie, and like they're all like little pawns playing around. I don't know. That imagery really stuck out for me.
I think probably my singular favorite scene, other than like it's not a singular scene, but the climax as a whole was, almost perfect. But I think one of my favorite individual scenes was that long one shot of Michael when he just is on the street, and he starts on the street, and there's like the two kids, and he stops one, and then he walks to the house, kills, like we said, kills the one lady with the hammer, walks outside, walks down the street a little bit. You see he's looking at the lady through the window, and there's like the one shot that's just like on that window for a while. Michael's looking at the lady walks away. You see Michael walk around the back of the house.
Yeah.
The lady comes to the window, and then Michael just stabs her through the throat.
That's true.
That was one of my favorite because, it just goes on, and then
it makes it more realistic. Like this guy's like just doing his thing.
And that's the other thing about this movie that I think, since it does ignore the second one and ignore the brother sister thing, you almost wonder. You're not even sure if Michael has a purpose or if he is just kind of randomly killing people because he wants to.
I think he's just like, okay, when you think of like predator and prey, like you think of some predators just kill for fun, right? Like they're just, I don't know, well, humans do that as well, but like you know what I'm trying to say, like some people just kill for sport. Yeah. And I think that's what Michael really does as well. Like he does it. Obviously, he has an ultimate purpose, and that's to kill Laurie. Like that is the prize, the ultimate prize, right? But I think when he just kills people, he just finds joy in it, and it's almost like personal gain and satisfaction. Like, oh yeah, like fuck these people, I'm better than them. I can conquer them.
And I think that's the thing with like some of the later movies in the Halloween series. They try to like explain Michael Myers, like why he does it. Like, is it like a curse?
There's that one thing that's like what Saw win or something like that. Yeah. Like he's pure evil.
But or like it's like some like curse or is whatever. But I think I do like the explanation that he is really just evil, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's no other reason. There's no explanation as to why he can't die. He's just evil, and that's all there is to it. And that I think makes it more scary.
Oh yeah. But also that kind of ties into how he's actually killed. Well, I say killed very loosely for this movie. Obviously, I don't know, something he could come back or whatever. But how he is killed in this movie is he's burned alive, right? And that's just like when I think of like getting rid of all evil, I think of just like burning them like in flames, hellfire, and all that stuff. Like there's definitely that imagery right there.
So, any other things that stand out to you in the movie that you liked? I know there's a few other things, but what about you? Anything else you want to point out?
I thought it was funny. Like there's a lot of elements in that were really funny, especially with the kid. Yeah. Holy smokes! Like that was, sometimes movies they try to make you laugh, but this was actually like, holy shit, this is funny. But
for me, the two other things I want to point out. Loved the score.
Oh my god, yeah, no, fuck.
John Carpenter is back, and it's pretty awesome. Like, one of my favorite bits was when, after Allison sees her friend die at the fence, and then she's running away, that was so good.
Is that when they play, like, the guitar, like, the electric guitar in it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and it's like, like, I'm like, oh my god, yes!
Score was pretty awesome. And then the other thing I wanted to point out that I really liked was just kind of like the other aspect of this movie, which was kind of like the family aspect of this movie. I thought was really good because it seemed realistic in that, like, I believed these characters and I believed their relationship in the fact that, like, there was like 3 generations, like Laurie as the grandmother, the mom, and the daughter, and how the daughter wants to connect with her grandma and loves her obviously, but then like her mom is kind of trying to like pull her apart because her mom had some bad experiences, even though her mom still does love her, like Laurie, but it's like there's this troubled past, and I feel like that seemed very believable to me in that they still all love each other, but there is some like
tension because tension. The daughter Karen, right? Mm-hmm. I get it. Well, I don't get it, but I understand that if you were raised in that household all your life, you believe like, oh, there's this fucking crazy psychopath, like we gotta prepare for him, like coming, all this stuff, and you're resentful of that person. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, you took my childhood away from me. Yeah. And I don't want you to do the same thing to my kid, like the granddaughter Allison, mm-hmm. right? So it's like, I understand the mom kind of wants to distance herself away from her mom, but she's also, I think, misses her in a way because she wanted that childhood.
It's that kind of thing that she just wishes she was different, I think. Yeah. She wishes Laurie was different.
And the circumstances didn't happen to her and her family.
Like, because Laurie isn't evil and isn't like mean to her daughter, but it is the thing is like, because of what she believed and because of what she experienced, she kind of put that onto her daughter and kind of messed that up for her as well, instead of letting her just be a normal kid.
It's almost neglectful in a way. Yeah. That you're only focusing on the experiences that happen to you, and you're protecting your daughter in a way, but at the same time you're forgetting her. You're mm-hmm. pushing her aside, and you're only taking that matter into hands and focusing only on that, mm-hmm. where the needs of your daughter were kind of pushed aside.
And then I think even going down one, like the granddaughter Allison, like she just kind of wants everyone to get along. She loves her grandmother, but loves her mother, but just wants them to
forget the past and like move on.
But it's like it's difficult, and then I don't know. Like I said, I also like we focus so much on Michael and the kills, but I think that this aspect was really important as well, and is a big part of what I think makes this movie good, because you actually legitimately care about like these three characters in particular. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then because I think they're all really good in the movie. I mean, especially Laurie. Like Laurie's kind of like a different protagonist because
she's very complex as a character. Like she's got layers,
she's obviously like that scene where she, breaks down at dinner and cries, and then like looks like she's almost like thinking about maybe suicide or something. She's not just like this like ultimate badass who like shoots guns. She's also like realizes that
like her entire she's wasted. Yeah, like she's wasted her life totally focusing on killing this guy, protecting her family, that she's pushed them all away. Mm-hmm. And it's just, well, really, what life do you have? Yeah. She's trapped in a way.
Yeah, just like Michael.
Michael in the end.
Yeah. So, okay. Is there anything you didn't like about this movie?
No. Well, no. No, I kind of liked it all, to be honest. Like, okay, the shit that was going on with Allison and her life, with the romance and all that, like, that
was one of the things I was gonna say. That was one of my two things. Yeah. Is that, yeah.
Like, I didn't really care about that, but, like, I understand they have to base the circumstance around that particular character and have their development. Like, she's a high school student. She has to go through that stuff.
Like, it serves a plot purpose of getting her to be alone on that night where she encounters Michael. Yeah. And then, like, that whole thing with, like, the cop and everything. But, yeah, I mean, it just doesn't... I just didn't really get why they spent so much time on it when ultimately... that character is... Her boyfriend is written out of the movie entirely, and after that scene at the party, or at the dance or whatever, you literally never see him again, so it's like, why does it even matter?
That's true.
And it became more... Like, I think... Really, the focus should have been even more on just the family, because that's the important part, and that's what ultimately mattered in the end, is that family coming together. Yeah. And working together. So I felt like that whole thing with her boyfriend was kind of...
But in a way, I think it did serve a purpose now when I look at it, because you're pulling at characters and what is going to make them feel the most vulnerable and isolated. And in that moment, for her, it was not having, like, when I mean her, I mean Allison, like the character Allison, because um her boyfriend is taken away from her, and it's that betrayal and that cheating and uncertainty and all that. And same goes for her family. Like, she feels very conflicted about her mother and her grandmother constantly fighting, so she as a character feels alone. And the same goes for Karen, like the mother. She feels alone in the sense that her daughter is resenting her because she can't get along with her own mother, which is Lori. um and she's just feels very conflicted and isolated as well. And then obviously Lori is just a fucking basket case, and she's pulled in every direction possible, whether that be from her own daughter or her granddaughter. So I feel like certain things have to happen in the movie, or to develop the characters and to initially separate them all. But they're their strongest when they all come together at the end.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like that's why I say is that I get why it's in there with the thing with the boyfriend, because you're right, it serves a plot purpose and it serves a character purpose for Allison.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the actual character of her boyfriend literally did not even matter.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
But... Two of the things I didn't like about the movie, to be honest with you, I actually, and I'm not just saying this, I actually did see the twist with the doctor being evil.
No, me too.
Coming, and I was just like, that's so stupid.
See, I knew it was gonna happen right from the very beginning, when he's like, oh, Michael's my patient, I have to get on the bus with him.
It's just like, I was like, something's up with this dude, and also the fact that they never explain until like later how the bus crashed in the first place.
That's true. In a way, I think it was.
Well, I mean, I think you get the idea that it was this guy did something
because he wanted to observe Michael in that situation.
So I kind of like that, because it's like this guy was so obsessed, kind of like Loomis, but Loomis was the opposite. Loomis just wanted Michael to die and that's it, but this guy almost wanted to see Michael kill again. But I also didn't like it because it was just kind of stupid.
It's almost like if you were National Geographic, right? Like observing wildlife in its natural habitat. That's kind of what this guy is. He wants to see the predator versus the prey.
And then I will say, when the doctor put on the mask, I was like, I hope this doesn't become some stupid thing.
No, I know. That's when I was like, if they make him Michael, that would have ruined the entire movie.
I will say, I think that even though I didn't like that kind of subplot with the doctor, it does lead to one of the greatest moments in the movie, where he is on the ground and Michael's over him and he's just like, just say something, and then Michael just crushes his head. Yeah. So I kind of like that's part specifically, but the whole thing with the doctor, I think, was kind of...
Like, were you kind of hoping Michael would say something? Like, even if it was just one word?
To be honest, I would say I was expecting that to happen, because they were kept leading up to it, I feel. Yeah. But I'm glad it didn't happen, because like I said, I like the fact that Michael is just evil and there's no kind of connection. But it did seem like they were strangely leading up to, like, they kept, like, kind of saying,
like, just say something, right?
So it was like, are they going to make him say something? But, no, he never does, and I like that.
Yeah.
Final thing, I would say the final thing I didn't like about the movie, the one other thing, and this was something almost that I feel like isn't a problem with the movie itself, but kind of the scenario around the movie, is that, okay, so let's be honest, we saw how much it made this weekend. It made a lot of money.
Yep.
You know there's going to be a sequel.
But that's the thing. I don't want it to be a sequel. I think it should just be how it is. Like, that's it.
But here's the thing. I 100% agree with you, but that's just not going to happen.
No, I know. They'll be like, oh, we got to span 5 more movies out
So
of
my
this.
main problem with the ending of it, the very, very ending, is that when you saw Michael burn up, I was thinking to myself, just because I just know. Like, there's going to be a sequel, so... I love this ending because it was so cinematically good and just for the characters good, but a part of me was also like, it doesn't matter. Like, we know he's going to come back. And
it's kind of like the second movie.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The other part of it that made it not so good for me was I was like, I kind of do feel like I've seen this before. Like, I've already seen Michael get burned up, and then everyone's like, oh, he's dead, but then he's back. And I guarantee you that's what's going to happen.
But you know what? In a really weird way... Okay, because it showed Allison and she was holding Michael's knife. maybe something will be kind of pulled off there where she feels
kind of like in part 4.
Yeah, where she feels the need that like she's gonna become the killer.
I mean,
like it's a far stretch, but I'm just saying it's the opportunity's there.
Yeah, there's an opportunity for them to do a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be just Michael back again. I mean, in my dream scenario, I'll give you my.
This is Connor's fan fiction right here.
This is my fan fiction right here. This is the way I would want it in a perfect world. I would want Blumhouse, the people who made this movie, like the director, the writer, all of it, to make a sequel to this movie. Mm-hmm. And it's a remake of Season of the Witch.
Oh yeah, that would be
Michael's not even in it. Laurie's not even in it. It's a remake of Season of the Witch, and because you know what? Here's the thing. I've actually thought about this. Okay. By the way, I'll just say right now, I absolutely love this movie. It's still only my third favorite. Season of the Witch is still better in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Because Tom Atkins' ass, his bare butt cheeks are in that movie.
And his mustache. No, but yeah. Because Season of the Witch, I've actually thought about this. It could get remade. Because obviously a big part of Season of the Witch is kind of like the TV aspect and the media aspect of it. Mm-hmm. They could do so many cool things with that in 2018. With social media and people being like on their screens constantly. And then, oh my god, that's my dream. Is that the same director, the same writers, the same company make a sequel, call it Halloween Season of the Witch, and then everyone's like, ooh, and then everybody who doesn't know is going to be like, ooh, how is Michael going to come back?
You know, well, that's the thing. It's like,
and then it's like, he's not in it.
I think it would appeal to just the diehard horror fans like us. We would go and be like, oh my god, like, whatever, right? And especially if they included Tom Atkins, I would fucking die.
Even just as a... Well, there was even
if it was like a cameo, yeah.
Well, there was even the cameo of the three masks in this movie.
Yeah, I know, and we just looked at each other and we're like, oh my god. Eight more days till Halloween.
But yeah, so that's my dream, even though I know it's not going to happen. And I already know that they're going to make a sequel with Michael Myers. And he's going to come back.
But here's the thing. It's like, you know what, if you really compare, you know, the normal Halloween movies to Halloween 3... there's much more to work with there, right? If they were to have made all the Halloween movies just an anthology series, I definitely feel like you wouldn't have as strong as a connection. There wouldn't be as much story development there. It'd be like, okay, well, boom, he's dead, done.
But imagine the story there could be with other kinds of things.
No, I know that, but
I don't know.
Obviously, hey, I would want that too, but let's be honest here.
I know.
You know.
Anyways, so any kind of final thoughts? I think we both loved it.
Yeah, it was hands down an awesome movie.
Where would you rank it? Is it better than the original? You've only seen 5 Halloween movies, right?
That's right. Well, like, I don't know, because it's just the fucking Halloween series is just, it's so screwed up. It's so jumpy. It's not like, you know, Friday the 13th, and we were having this conversation a few days ago, that it's, at least with Friday the 13th, even though it's totally insane, at least it has some chronological order there, and it's not all like, oh, well, Laurie's dead here, but here's Tom Atkins' ass, and it's like, what? I don't know.
And you still haven't seen the Rob Zombie movies either.
Oh, God, I love Rob Zombie. Yeah, I want to see that movie. What was I saying?
Where does it rank?
Where does it rank? Is it better than the original?
In my opinion?
No, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
No.
Is it better than the second one?
No.
No.
I like the second one.
I know.
This is a whole other podcast.
So what is your third favorite?
Yes.
What about Season of the Witch, though?
Okay. Let me try to rank them. I'm thinking.
Well,
Okay, first one, Halloween 2018, Season of the Witch, Halloween 2. That's how it would go for me.
So now Halloween 2 is your least favorite.
Well, fuck, they're all good. I don't know.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. And then what, Halloween 4 at the end?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think I already said it earlier, it's not as good as the original. The original, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, not just horror movies. And Season of the Witch, place in my heart, can't beat Season of the Witch, but it's right after that. It's my third favorite Halloween movie. And I think that if you were to make a tier, it'd be like these 3 movies, the first one, Season of the Witch, and then this new one, and then everything else below it. Like, these, I think, are the three that are the best three.
The big pillars.
Exactly. And I would even recommend to people, if people really just wanted the bare bones of the series, I would even say just watch the original and this new one. I would say ignore everything else.
That's true.
Just see the original, and now see this new one.
Like, here's the thing. You know, what have I seen up till 5? No, 4, right?
Yeah, you've seen the first 4.
Okay, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
Is it even worth it to watch them all? Like, I probably will.
To watch them all?
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah.
Like, here's the thing about them. Like, 4, 5, 6 are their own thing. They're kind of silly. With the ones where Jamie Lee Curtis does come back, it almost kind of doesn't matter now that this new one has kind of erased it and is better than those, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Rob Zombie ones, I feel like you could watch, and just for the pure insanity of it, like, let me put it this way. I fucking hate the Rob Zombie movies.
Oh, stop.
But I want to show them to you because they're just, like, insane.
Well, yeah, okay. When I watched The Lords of Salem, it was fucking crazy. And I have been dying just to get Connor to watch it, just because nothing makes sense.
Well, that's the thing. He has a very specific style.
Yeah, but that's why I like him, because he's just, like, this loose cannon of a man just making movies. It's like, oh, whatever. So, yeah.
All right, so now ending off with this movie, we always give a ranking.
So how many pumpkins out of 10 would you give?
How many pumpkins out of 10? Do you want me to go first or you?
You go first.
I would give it...
Jack-o'-lanterns.
How many jack-o'-lanterns? No, you go first, because I'm debating still.
Oh, God. Okay. I give it a solid 10 out of 10 jack-o'-lanterns. Really, I can't find a thing wrong with this movie. In some parts it was getting a little but it really just kind of put itself right back on course. So, I give it a solid 10.
I'll give it a 9.
Oh.
I was actually debating between a 9 and an 8.5. Oh. But I'll give it a 9. It's just a really well-made movie. And now that we've seen this movie, we've kind of talked about, I'm really excited for in December or January, where we do our top 5 of the year.
Yeah.
Where it falls in that ranking. Because I feel like, I don't know yet what your thoughts are, but I feel like it's probably going to be in each of our top 5s.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I don't know where it's going to land in those top 5s.
We'll have to see.
And nonetheless, I think it's safe to say we both really loved it. The SpookNotes podcast, I guess, gives it out of 20. Gives it 19 pumpkins out of 20.
Yep, that's right.
Nice.
That's a really good score.
Awesome. Anything else to say?
No, not really, other than the fact that we think, everyone should go out and see this movie. Mm-hmm. And, comment what you think on our comment section. On all of our social media platforms, which are YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud, all under the handle SpookNotes.
SpookNotes podcast.
Well, it's just SpookNotes.
Oh, okay.
But yes, it is a podcast. So.
You can also email us at spooknotes@gmail.com.
Yeah, please send us all your questions and comments.
And thoughts about this movie.
Yeah, no concerns though. We don't want to hear any of those.
Tell us what you guys want us to hear us talk about next.
Yeah.
Anything else, Marlayna?
No, I think we pretty much summed all of our thoughts up. This would have been our normal car conversation on the ride home, and it's great that we're able to share it with all of you. We really like to get these out there to the world. Our opinion. Well, thank you guys very much. Yeah. And as always, don't forget to cite the Spook Notes. Bye. Bye.